And a very good afternoon to you, and welcome, and thank you for joining me on this next edition of my video blog, which I've decided to call Taking Time with Lyle. And the reason why I'm using that as a title for my video blog is to ask you to take some time out of your busy schedule to think about leadership, to think and try and understand some of the basic principles of what good leadership is really all about. And then also to encourage you to take some time out to do some self-reflection in terms of how you're doing in terms of your leadership. What's working well? What do you think you need to do differently? What you say and what you don't say, what you do and what you don't do. What impact is that having on your effectiveness as someone who is leading your team? So that's what these weekly video blogs is all going to be about, and I hope you find them beneficial. You may recall in the first video blog I mentioned that what I'd like to do in those video blogs is just to spend a little bit of time sharing a little bit about myself, what's important to me, so that over time you get to know a little bit more about me. And I'd like just to start with that very briefly and just tell you about something that is really important to me, something that I am dedicated to and am passionate about, and that is my involvement in the Prince's Trust. And for the past 16 years, I've been a volunteer business mentor with the Prince's Trust. And what I do is to work with young people who come from disadvantaged backgrounds through social issues, health issues, family issues, all kinds of challenges that they have. And excuse me, they have an idea, they have a business idea, they have a certain level of motivation, but not quite sure how to put it all together. And it's been my privilege over the last 16 years to work with many young people, just to over a period of 2 years, meeting with them on a monthly basis just to help them bring their business idea to fruition. Now, why I'm telling you that at the start is that yesterday I had the privilege of attending the annual Prince's Trust Awards in the Palladium Theatre in London. And you may have seen my pictures on my personal Facebook page. And again, I came away so inspired by what I heard there yesterday. There were 7 young people, 7 different awards, and each had such a compelling, inspirational message. And you know, it was just horrific to hear some of the challenges that these young people have faced in their lives, and to some extent still facing. But through interaction with one or other of the Prince's Trust programs that are freely available, they have turned their lives around. They are achieving, they are back into education, they are working, they're starting up their own little business. And so yesterday afternoon was just an opportunity to recognize and celebrate their success and their achievements. And it was a great event. And go to my personal Facebook page and have a look at the pictures. You'll be inspired. And if you live in Northern Ireland or in the UK, maybe it's something you can be involved in. If you'd like to know more, just let me know. So let's get on to what these video blogs are all about. You may recall at the end of the video blog last week that I asked you the question, putting aside your title, what do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as a leader, or do you see yourself as a manager? So let's try and answer that and try and sort of unpack that in terms of what that means. So what I'd like to do in this piece is just to have a closer look at what it means to be a leader, or what it means to be a manager. Now, I don't need to tell you, there's been loads written about these two topics. There are many definitions of leadership and management. Someone said to me the other day, leaders lead and managers manage. Okay, but there's a lot more to it than that. So let's just look at something very, very simple, and let's look at the definition of a leader. And some time ago, I came across a one-word definition that, for me, really makes it very, very clear. And for me, and the definition that I saw is that a leader is a pathfinder. A leader is a pathfinder. So what does that mean? So for me, that means that a leader is very future orientated. The leader is about giving thought to the bigger picture. The leader is setting a vision for his team, her team. It's being clear on what success looks like over time. It's having a leadership strategy, how you're going to achieve that vision, and then communicating that vision to the team on a regular basis so that everybody in the team, in the organization, in the company understands this is where we're going, this is why it's important, and this is what success looks like. Now, this is not something that the leader does in their office on their own. Have to involve the team and the people around him. Over and above that, a leader needs to ensure that the team is engaged, that they are connected with the vision and understands their role in helping to achieve that vision. The leader needs to know what motivates the people in his team. What gets them up in the morning? What gets them going? What motivates them? And that's a big topic on its own. And then, there's a lot more to this, but I also think that a leader is very much about living the values, and on a day-to-day basis, being an example and helping the team understand the values and the importance of their values. Now, there's a lot in all of that, and over the next few sessions I want to unpack those and just go into them in a little bit more detail. So a leader I see as a pathfinder. So what is a manager? And in similar tone, I came across this definition. A manager is a pathfinder. No, my apologies, and I'm not going to redo this. A manager is a pathminder. Manager is a pathminder. So what does that mean? So what that means is that once the direction for the team has been set, the vision, the measurement, success, the strategy, and getting all the pieces together, the manager makes sure that the path is followed. The pathminder. And to do that, the manager's role is to plan, is to organize, is to monitor, is to organize and to lost the word there, is to control. So planning, organizing, managing, and controlling. And that's what the manager's role is minding the path. So there you have two roles. You have the leader, who is the pathfinder, and the manager is a pathminder. And now there's a lot in those two definitions, and as I said, it's something that we'll unpack over the coming weeks. So let me come back to the question that I asked in the first video. Are you a manager or a leader? What role do you see yourself as playing? Now, typically when I ask that question, the response I often get is that I'm just a manager, and they see the leadership role as being done by the people at the top, the CEO, the senior management. I'd like to suggest to you today that whether you're a team leader, whether you've just been appointed as a manager, whether you are a middle manager, whether you are the CEO of an SME, your role is both leader and manager. You can't have one without the other. They go hand in hand. And so whether you are a team leader with just perhaps 2 people in your team, there are times where you need to be fulfilling that leader role. Looking at the big picture, where do you see your team? Where do you want your team to be going? What does success look like? It's getting the people in your team on board and excited and passionate about where you want to take the team. And then clearly there's the management piece, which I'm sure you already do. It's organizing, it's planning, it's monitoring, it's controlling, it's doing that management piece that makes sure that things happen. So whether you're a team leader or whether you're the MD of a company, there are times where you need to be fulfilling that leader role and times where you need to be fulfilling that manager role. You've got to be doing both. You can't have one without the other. Now there's a third element to what you're doing, and that's the doing part, and we'll talk about that next time. So I want you to go away and just think about that. Your role it's a dual role. There are times where you need to be leading, and there's times where you clearly need to be managing. So I want to plant that idea with you for now, and think about it, reflect on it over the coming week. And when we come back next week, we'll unpack that a little bit further. We'll look at the sort of concept of those 2 definitions, and then look at the detail of what each of those means. So hope you found that interesting, useful, something to take away with and think about. Apologies for the little hiccup there halfway through, but that's just being me, being natural. This is not rehearsed. This is not take 2, take 3, take 4. It's just you're getting it as it comes. So thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time. All the best. Bye-bye.